Hey there, boys and girls. I hope that this week has been one of the best weeks since you've been home and that you've been able to maybe play outside some. I know we had some bad weather, lots of rain, but I hope you've had a really good week this week. And it's Friday, so that means tomorrow is Saturday, and the day after that is Sunday, and that means it's our weekend. Woo-woo! And we love Friday in our classroom, so I love Friday at home too. And I have a really cool and special story for us to read today. And it was written by a man called, or his name is Eric Carle. So if it was written by him and he wrote all the words, what is he called? That's right, the author, okay? And not only did he write all the words, he drew all the pictures. He's pretty special. I really like him. So if he drew all the pictures, what's he called? This is that hard word, the illustrator. Because an author writes the word, an illustrator draws the pictures. That's right. And today our story is A House for Hermit Crab. As we read our story today, we're going to be talking about the sequence or the order and how things happen. So what happens in the beginning, what happens in the middle, and what happens at the end. Now, we read the story, The Giving Tree, I think that was last week or maybe the week before, but we read it and we talked about the order and sequence of that story, and I helped you. Today, I want to see if you can figure out what happens in the beginning, in the middle, and the end of the story. Okay, so pay close attention. Time to move, said Hermit Crab, one day in January. I've grown too big for this little shell. He had felt safe and snug in his shell, but now it was too snug. Hermit Crab stepped out of the shell and onto the floor of the ocean, but it was frightening out in the open sea without a shell to hide in. What if a big fish comes along and attacks me, he thought. I must find a new home and find it soon. Early in February, Hermit Crab found just the house he was looking for. It was a big shell and strong. He moved right in, wiggling and waggling about inside it to see how it felt. It felt just right. But it looks so, well, plain, thought Hermit Crab. Okay, so we had January, February. What comes next? March. In March, Hermit Crab met some sea anemones, I think is how you say that word. It's a hard word. They swayed gently back and forth in the water. How beautiful you are, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to come and live in my house? It's so plain. It needs you. I'll come, whispered a small sea anemone. Gently, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and put it on his shell. March, what comes next? It's the month we're in, it's April. In April, Hermit Crab passed a flock of starfish moving slowly along the floor. Hey, how handsome you are, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to decorate my house? I would, signaled a little starfish. Carefully, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and put it on his house. January, February, March, April. May, our next month is May. And in May, Hermit Crab discovered some sea coral. They were hard and didn't move. How pretty you are, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to help make my house more beautiful? I would, creaked a crusty coral. Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it on his shell. In June, Hermit Crab came to a group of snails crawling over a rock on the ocean floor. They grazed as they went, picking up algae and bits of debris and leaving a neat path behind them. "How tidy and hard-working you are," said Hermit Crab. "Would one of you be willing to come and help me clean my house?" "I would," offered one of the snails. Happily, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it on his shell. So, just like we do with our houses, we like to get new things to decorate our house. You may have gotten a new cover for your bed, or maybe a new pillow, or you could have gotten a really cool new toy, and that decorates your room. You may have new flowers in your house. We use things to decorate our house, and that's what Hermit Crab is doing. In July, Hermit Crab came upon several sea urchins. They had sharp, prickly needles. "How fierce you look," said Hermit Crab. "Would one of you be willing to protect my house?" "I would." Gratefully, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it near his shell. But he didn't put it on it. Why? Probably because it would have hurt somebody. In August, Hermit Crab and his friends wandered into a forest of seaweed. "It's so dark here," thought Hermit Crab. "How dim it is," murmured the sea anemone. "How gloomy it is," whispered the starfish. "It's murky. I can't see. It's like nighttime." So in the beginning of the story, the Hermit Crab got a new shell. And then what happened in the middle? See if you can remember. And you got it all decorated too, huh? What's gonna happen? In September, Hermit Crab spotted a school of lanternfish darting through the dark water. "How bright you are," said Hermit Crab. "Would one of you be willing to light up our house?" "I would," replied a lanternfish, and it swam over near the shell. In October, Hermit Crab approached a pile of smooth pebbles. "How sturdy you are," said Hermit Crab. "Would you mind if I rearranged you?" "Not at all," answered the pebbles. Hermit Crab picked them up one by one with his claw and built a wall around his shell. "Now my house is perfect," cheered Hermit Crab. But in November, Hermit Crab felt that his shell seemed a bit too small. Little by little, over the year, Hermit Crab had grown. Soon he would have to find another, bigger home. But he had come to love his friends. The sea anemone, the starfish, the coral, the sea urchin, the snail, the lanternfish, and even the smooth pebbles. "They have been so good to me," thought the Hermit Crab. "They're like my family. How can I ever leave them?" In December, a smaller Hermit Crab passed by. "I've outgrown my shell," she said. "Would you know of a place for me?" "I've outgrown my house too," answered Hermit Crab. "I must move on. You're welcome to live here, but you must promise to be good to all of my friends." "I promise," she said. The following January, Hermit Crab stepped out and the little crab moved in. "Couldn't stay in the little shell forever," said Hermit Crab as he waved goodbye. The ocean floor looked wider than he had remembered, but Hermit Crab wasn't afraid. Soon he spied the perfect house. A big empty shell. It looked, well, a little bit plain, but sponges, he thought. Barnacles, clownfish, sand dollars, electric eels. Oh, there's so many possibilities. I can't wait to get started. So Throughout the story, it gave us a timeline by going by months of the year. And in our classroom, we sing the months of the year every day. January, February, March, and April, May, June, July, and August, September, October, November, December. These are the months of the year. And we got to watch Hermit Crab go through the whole year in his shell. But at the end of the story, he had outgrown it. You grow bigger every year, and so did Hermit Crab. Now remember, we were looking for the order or the sequence in our story. So if you can write me a letter or leave me a comment below or message me on Remind about what happened in the beginning, and then what did Hermit Crab do in the middle, and at the end, what ended up happening to Hermit Crab. I love y'all so much, and I miss y'all, and I cannot wait to see your faces and give you big hugs, whether they're air hugs or real hugs, or I just can't wait to see you. And I'll see y'all in our next story on Monday. Bye.